Hi, thank you for watching Digging to China. I'm Dong Xiong. If you have not done so already, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much. In contemporary Chinese history, the May 4th movement occupies an important position. It happened in Beijing on May 4th, 1919, as a student protest. It then grew out to be an anti-imperialist, cultural, and political movement. Back then, students gathered in front of Tiananmen Square to protest the Chinese government's weak response to the Treaty of Versailles, decision to allow Japan to retain territories in Shandong that had been surrendered to Germany. The demonstrations sparked nationwide protests and spurred an upsurge in Chinese nationalism. This year, in early May, Chinese President Xi Jinping delivered a speech at a gathering to commemorate the centenary of the May 4th movement in Beijing. He hailed the spirit of the May 4th movement, reviewed the experience of the country's development, and encouraged China's youth to strive for the realization of the Chinese dream of national rejuvenation. China's hope lies in youth, he said. But on China's internet, some young people say their ideals simply cannot be achieved, and many of them have given up on trying. Frustrated by the mounting uncertainties and the lack of economic opportunities, they are resorting to a new buzzword to capture their attitude towards life. The new buzzword is "Bai Lan," let it rot. Just a year ago, lying flat was trending among Chinese millennials. They resorted to lying flat in protest for hyper-competition and in defense of rest and relaxation. Now its cousin is coming, the slightly darker trend of let it rot. Chinese Gen Z-ers and millennials use this buzzword to describe the mindset of leaning into self-indulgence and open decay and away from life expectations that seem neither meaningful nor attainable. The phrase "Bai Lan" has its origin in NBA games, means a voluntary retreat from pursuing certain goals because one realized they are simply too difficult to achieve. In American basketball, it often refers to a team's deliberate loss of a game in order to get a better draft pick. On Weibo, the Bai Lan related topics have generated hundreds of millions of reads and discussions since March. To express their commitment to the Bai Lan lifestyle, many are sharing photos to Xiaohongshu, China's Instagram-like platform, depicting rest, fatigue, and sadness with the Bai Lan hashtag, and encouraging everyday decadence and rotting together. The hashtag has more than 2.3 million results on the platform. China's young people are facing overwhelming and disheartening headwinds. 20% youth unemployment rate in August, housing prices that can cost 14 times the average salary, a complex dating environment, and the prospect of caring for their elderly parents while potentially also child rearing. While lying flat is similar to quiet quitting, let it rot is a fast-track breakdown. It has a more worrying layer in the way it is being used by young people in China to actively embrace a deteriorating situation rather than trying to turn it around. It is close to other Chinese phrases, for example, to smash a cracked pot, and the dead pigs are not afraid of boiling water. China's economy is already slowing. Economists have expressed concern that the trend could make it worse and further impact an already record low birth rate. It could be just a small group of people who are truly letting it rot, but when a buzz phrase is exaggerated on social media, it creates a social atmosphere, and that could be enough to make an impact. So worried that the state medias have taken note of this trend. One recent article in official media outlet asked, "Why modern young Chinese like to Bai Lan?" The article blamed AI recommend and push functions. In fact, this is as a result of negative auto-suggestion, repeatedly telling oneself, "I cannot make it." And this kind of mentality often leads people to adopt the Bai Lan attitude, the article said. But the reality is not quite as the state media suggested. Sal Hong is a 29-year-old creative industry professional in Beijing. He says that for his generation of young Chinese, this attitude of letting things rot is likely to be caused by a lack of social mobility and increased uncertainty in today's China. Unlike my parents' generation, young Chinese today have much bigger expectations, but there are many more uncertainties for us too. For example, we cannot make any long-term plans for our lives anymore because we do not know what is going to happen to us even 5 years down the road, he said. Han worked as a flight engineer in southwestern China. 3 years ago, he moved to Beijing to work in music, his passion. But the workplace reality changed his ambition, Han said. My boss often sets unrealistic targets for me. But however hard I try to meet his KPIs, I always fail. So in the end, I lose my motivation and just do my bare minimum. Mary Gallagher is a professor and a director of the Center for Chinese Studies at the University of Michigan. She says, Bailan is not necessarily a sentiment unique to China. It is a bit like the slacker generation in America in the 1990s and like Tang Ping last year. It is also a rejection against ultra-competitiveness of today's Chinese society. But in today's China, the sense of hopelessness among the young is further exacerbated by shrinking economic opportunities, she says. In the past few months, while hundreds of millions of Chinese people were confined to their homes due to COVID lockdowns, China's economy has yet to boost growth. With China's youth unemployment hit 20% in August, the highest since the official record began, Bailan is a natural reaction despite top leaders' repeated urging for young people to fight for the future. Hard to find a job after graduation this year? Fine, I'll just Bailan, stay at home and watch TV all day, wrote one netizen who struggled to find work. Researchers also believe that the young Chinese use Bailan or Tang Ping to show they are not cooperating with the official narrative. Ke Chengfang is a media professor at the Chinese University of Hong Kong. He says, all these popular phrases reflect a shared social emotion of the day. When people use them, they are not just expressing themselves, but looking for a connection with those who have the same feeling. This is the power of social media. Despite the grand official narrative from the leaders in real life, we are all in the same situation after all. So true. Thank you for watching. Please leave a comment and subscribe to my channel. Just click the subscribe button right here. I'll see you again shortly. Until then, be well.